What's up, y'all? This your boy J Wayne, you know, representing Team Take Profits, and your boy been missing in action for a couple weeks, but I'm back, baby. I'm excited, I'm refreshed. I was working on some real estate opportunities, got my first flip, and that took a lot of time, energy, and money. So that's what your boy been doing. I ain't just been sleeping, all right? This video is about showing you how I personally backtest with my team, how I backtest strategies or whatever I'm learning, how I backtest it, and then how I do it with my team. So some of you guys been joining, some of you guys been thinking about joining the team, and I just want to take you in, you know, bring you in a little bit and show you how we operate and how we function as a team. Next thing, real quick, guys, I've been reading the comments and a lot of you been loving the intro. Pips pay my bills. Pips pay my bills. All right, a lot of you been loving that. Guess what, guys? Towards the end of this month, it's up for purchase, man. You can cop the single, man. Your boy make trade music, all right? Your boy's making trade music. I don't want to take over your playlist. Just add me into the playlist because I just want to motivate you while you trading. When we trading 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, whenever we trade, we like to get our minds focused. We like to be pumped up, motivated. So your boy's making music for you, all right? So you can cop that. But this Saturday, I'm going to release the behind the scenes footage of how I made Pips pay my bills when I was recording it and everything like that. So I'm going to show you that, and then we just go from there, and you can just see how it evolved into what it is now. It's a powerful track, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Hope you guys support it. All right, this video is a little bit longer because I've been gone, and I'm going to give you so many nuggets and gems and jewels packed of information inside of this video. Take your time, get some popcorn, and let's make this money, baby. So what we're going to do is what I've been learning, what I've been realizing is that we're still struggling with placing a stop loss, where to put the take profit at, reading the setups that are sent out. So let's dive into that. We're not going to keep you long. We'll be done at 8, but let's dive into it. So the first thing is we on this 1 hour chart. Okay. Now I'm gonna be doing the replay feature. So we're gonna be disappearing all of this stuff, and we're gonna get hands-on in these charts. We're gonna get our hands dirty. And I cannot proceed unless you guys tell me what to do. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I think too, but you guys got to help me, or we just going to be stuck here, because this is for hands-on, really real world. Like, you've been watching the videos. Now it's time to see you put this into action. It's time to see if you can apply what you've been learning. And if you can't apply what you've been learning, then you're not learning or something, or you need to like go back, or you need to see where you're weak at, where you're strong at. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to here's the thing. First, let's cover the simple stuff. When I send out a trade setup, for an example, this is something right here I might send out. So I'm like, okay, this is a downtrend. It keep pulling back, but it won't never blow past this level. So it drops, it pull back again, and it's still making a lower high. It drops, pull back again. Look like we got like a little, you know, wick out, but it's still not blowing past these highs. So I will say, okay, well, we might be waiting for a couple different things, but for the sake of this, hurrying up with this, I'm gonna like, okay, we got a little trend line here, for an example. Okay, I want to see trend line break or something, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here. Boom. I'm gonna label it. Wait for trend line break. And we'll put and retest, right? Something like that, right? Okay. And then I'm gonna label this and I'm gonna send this out, right? I might put some other things on there too. You know, I might put like some levels to be broken or something like that. You know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is typically what they'll look like.
So we waiting for levels to be broken or whatever it is. So if I send that out, I feel like you guys should be able to handle that. Like, you know what I mean? So if I send that out, I get things like, are we selling? Are we buying? Well, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything. We're waiting for something to happen, waiting for a trend line break. The trend line might not even break until up here somewhere. We never know, but we waiting for it to happen. Now, when you see it happen, then you can, you know, message in the group, hey, it just broke the trend line. It just broke the trend line. Now, do we get in now? Should we get in now? I might be like, that's a little bit aggressive, or I might be like, yeah, we taking it now, depending on other things. Like, oh, maybe we should wait for a retest, and we communicate that way. But when I send this out, there is no trade. Like, can we understand that there is no trade? Is we waiting for levels to get broken? We waiting for breakouts. So there is nothing. So that's simple as that. All right. So that's that. All right. So we finna get it right into it. We finna back test. Let me see here. We just gonna stick to the hour chart, because when I do the replay feature, it's gonna take my replay out and start me back to the beginning if I switch to a different time frame. So we just gonna stick with the hour. So we like gonna whip it all the way back. Like we just gonna, it's probably good enough. And I don't really want you to see. Stop video. I'm gonna stop the video so nobody can see what happened hindsight, and we can, let me see. All right, can y'all see the screen? Yes, perfect. All right. I feel like this is a good time to do this coming off of the mastery class. I feel like this is a perfect time to do this because I had you marking up zones. I had you doing trend lines, finding head and shoulders, finding patterns. So you should be warmed up. So now let's, for the ones that did it, now let's see what we got. So what we doing here? First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom out. Never stay all tight on this. I want to zoom out, see what's been going on, see levels, just see what the market been doing. So we just been constantly dropping off, you know, a little bit of consolidation, choppiness. Overall, I see a big flag here for another drop off. I mean, this big old flag happened for weeks. It was plenty of moves to be made within this, but then you got another big drop off. So when you focus on one pair at a time, or maybe because you don't need to focus on 5 pairs, guys. If you have, this is the optimal way to do this. Find you 1 or 2 pairs max. Focus on those. Be committed to those. Mark those up. Don't mark up anything else. Just those 2 for 6 months. And then you will have my setups. So then you have that. That's an extra trade or extra pair that somebody helping you with. And then if you want Gold Cup, then you got that one. So now you all set. You got 2 of your own. You got Gold Cup and you got me. That's all you need. It's no way that people should not be making money. If I'm making money and I'm constantly coming out a winner every week, I don't know why you guys not. So it's something that, I ain't saying like you guys, like all of you, I'm just kind of generalizing, but it's something that some people are doing wrong. It's something you're doing wrong. You might be thinking you good enough to trade on your own, and maybe you keep breaking even, maybe you keep losing. Like, because I know a lot of people want to be on independent, but maybe you're trying to be independent too fast. you know, or maybe you're missing the trades. Well, you got to figure out, why am I missing these trades? What do I need to adjust? Because the key to leaving a legacy, and the key to having time freedom, what I thought was Forex. So if it was Forex, then we got to figure out, how can we catch these Forex trades? And if Forex is no longer going to give you time freedom, then there's no need for it. But this is the thing that's going to give it to us. So we got to make this a priority. And for me, I dropped everything. I ain't saying drop everything, but I'm just saying make some adjustments if you are missing the trades. But we got to figure out, for the ones that are not coming out winners at the end of the week and the month, like, why aren't you coming out? We can talk about that on here too. But we're looking at the chart, and I want to mark up some zones here. So I want to see, for right here, I like this here. And you guys can chime in if you saying, why did you do that? Why did you put it there? Why didn't you put it there? You guys can unmute and do that. This is free for all type thing.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So the resistance one, how come you wouldn't push that a little bit above where those two parts are, where it seemed like neither one is getting, right there.
Because price isn't even up there anymore. Price is down here. See, this is where price is. There's no need. I mean, that's a level, but when we actually get up there, I focus on that. We're here. See, right here on the edge. Always look at the right and know where you're at. And this is where price is. So there's no need to go way up there just to put a line there. I deal with that when the time. Now, when you're practicing and you're just practicing on support and resistance, go ahead and just drop these lines on here all over the place, because you're just training yourself and you're building muscle memory, right? So go ahead and do that. But when it's actually like game time, we actually trying to find some trades, is really unnecessary. I like to keep all of these lines off of my chart so I can focus and think better. So I just like for it to be neat and not so many lines, because in a minute I'm gonna pull out indicators and all of that other stuff. So I like.
It may help them also, Jay, to see that the last upswing didn't go all the way up there. So we're on a downtrend.
Yeah, we're still on a downtrend.
So because of that, you wouldn't take the line all the way up there, because the last time it tried to go up, it didn't even make it up there.
Yeah. So I don't see any information nowhere near over here. Everything has just been dropping off. And one day I'll be able to write that whole thing down. I really don't even be interested in holding the trade that long. Like I know, I done got to the point where, okay, it been dropping off, wait for the little pullback, I can get back in. Ride it for another day. Catch the buy, the reverse, know when to stop, sell it another day, and just take pieces out of it, the whole downtrend. I just don't be caring about holding no trades that long. So boom, boom. Okay, cool. Well, now here's the thing. I'm looking at the key thing that's helping me put these lines on here, that's really telling me a lot, is these wicks. Okay, is these wicks, because I'm seeing that it's strong levels right here with these wicks where we're wicking out at. So that's where I'm focused at first. Now if I was on the daily, I'll be having major support. Remember, Jessica, I was saying you got your major support and resistance, you got your standard, and you got your minor. Well, right now I'm focusing on like the standard. The major would be stuff like what Tyler was pointing out. When we go way up there and stuff. And the minor, when you go down to that 15-minute chart and you really get tight. Okay, but I'm just focused. I'm on an hour chart looking at the standard, and I'm just going to be patient. Now, if you have a problem with entries, like I always say, I got to keep saying it. Well, the reason why I think that you're really having problems with entries is because you don't have anything marked up properly, or you don't even have a a trade setup. But I challenge you, if you get a trade setup, I bet you your entries become a lot easier. Nothing is going to be perfect though. All right. So I got these zones marked up. Robert, we think we good or we need to mark up something else? Would you go down? Would you tighten it up? What are we doing? Add another one?
I had muted it. Well, yeah, I would go. Well, you're on the 15. I thought this was the hour.
I'm on an hour.
Okay, then I would usually go to the 15 and see what's going on in the action that's happening right now.
Oh, I can't do that. We got to just stick with the hour action.
Okay,
I'm gonna lose my spot.
Okay. Well,
so we place an hour trade.
If there's a trend line to be made, but it's kind of steep here, but it wouldn't be as steep when you go down.
A trend line to be made where? On this green?
Yeah. That's really steep right there, but it wouldn't be that steep if you went down to the 15. Yeah.
So you would have put a trend line right here like that?
Yeah, just to see what's happening. Here already broke it, so.
Okay, but you would have put a trend line right there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got you. All right. So, but it already broke, right?
Right.
Okay. So we put the trend line there. We'll space it out so we can see it. It was perfect on the 15-minute. Okay, we understand that, and it broke. So, what we waiting for a retest, or we waiting for something else to happen?
Yeah, I'm either waiting for it to come and retest that trend line, or to go down to that support.
So it's no trade here.
No trade yet. Not for me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and then I'm gonna leave you alone. We go to the next.
All right, bud.
Okay. So that dropped down to that zone.
Uh-huh.
So we not doing anything yet.
Not
yet.
You got
a doji at the zone.
That's a nice little doji, yeah.
So no trade yet.
No trade yet.
Now don't forget, like, because now I want you to kick in. Like when would you look at an indicator? You know, when are we not looking at an indicator yet? Are we looking at one yet? Just you kind of guiding me.
Yeah, well, all the time at this point, I'm looking at the Martin stochastic. I am looking at the. I also still have my 8 EMA and my 20 and 50. See what the action is looking like there. That's telling me quite a bit. I like to play those plays on the crossover of the moving averages.
Yeah.
It consistently works for me, so I keep looking at that. But I know one day I'll be surprised, but it hasn't surprised me yet. And,
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. We don't need 100% strategy. We just need 70-80% winning strategy.
Right, you're right.
At that point, it becomes a numbers game. Consistently take the strategy, and you're gonna come out 70-80% right.
You're right. You're right, and in that sense, so it's working really well for me. I'm also looking at the heat wave indicator to see what the strength of the pairs are. In this case, is gold. See if the USD is doing well or what. If it's increasing, is decreasing. If there are any news coming up, it blows me away how much information it takes. But I learned that from you, that all of that goes together to see if we're ready to go in.
Oh yeah, because we need that stuff because we don't move anything.
Right.
We don't move a single thing in this market. So we need as much help as we can get. Now we gotta know when to stop searching for help, because too much can confuse you.
Right.
And then we gotta know when we don't need all these indicators on our chart because they all tell the same story.
Right.
At some point. So you find a couple of them. I remember having about maybe 5 or 6, but I mean I just got it down to these 2, and I used my heat wave. But all right, so here's the story here. So we got the pink line is the blue one. The blue line is the 8 moving average. And the pink one is the 20, and this big red one is the 50.
Wow. Okay. So basically, you're looking at the 8 and the 50 right on the action right now. If that breaks, I'm good to go.
If it breaks to the downside, we selling?
Yes.
You got the stochastic looking good?
The stochastic is already opened up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the
And this
MACD,
would,
the MACD shows also that the volume is decreasing on the strength of the upswing. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm good to go.
All right, so we
If
play
it breaks through, you know. If it doesn't,
it's playing with
you-
you.
yeah, it's messing with me right now.
Somebody asked a question.
Yeah, so you just said that I think you said the MACD said that the upswing is decreasing. I think that's what you said. How do you know that?
You see how the previous bars are really green and the other ones are lighter,
Oh, okay.
and it's also going down.
So that means that it's starting to sell.
And it's also the blue line is starting to curve down also. So the next few bars you may see, well, it may take a few bars to go down, but eventually you're going to start seeing red bars at the bottom.
All right, play it out so we can make time.
All right, let's see what happens.
All right.
Still messing with me, but it is below now.
So we waiting?
Is it closed? Is each one of these a closed bar?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good entry right there because it's green, but it's underneath and it's already closed.
Yeah. So all right, perfect.
I'm in at this point. Let's see what happens.
We got an entry.
Yeah.
Right there. We'll put it like right here or something. Because I don't want it right on the pink line. So that's our entry. Now, this is where people need help at. Where are we putting the stop loss? Pay attention, everybody that need help with that. Because I'm thinking people is putting stop losses like right here or something.
Right, that's what's been happening.
You know what I mean? Like you got to give
Or
it
right
room.
where it started to like where you saw it broke out of the trend line, like at the top of where it started to break out where you was watching it. Yeah, like right there. I mean, that's not where I would put it, but like if you're on the 5-hour chart looking at it, that's where it would look like the highest point, and for you to put your stop loss up there. Now when you
said the 5 hour?
Yeah. I mean,
I
no,
never seen
not the 5 hour, the 5 minute. I mean, 15-minute chart. If you're on the 15-minute chart, your candles look smaller. So it looks like the highest point is right here where you started to notice that it was breaking out of the trend line. And when you switch back to the 1 hour chart is when you see that that's not where you should put the stop loss. That's what I was having when I was getting stopped out too soon, is that I noticed that my stopping point wasn't the accurate time frame.
Okay. So Robert, here, where are you putting yours at?
I would put it at the just above the high of that green candle previous, before that broke the trend line.
So Jay,
What's
or
up?
Robert, if you when you entering in on the 15, you putting your stop loss based on the 1 hour though, right?
Well, the high is going to be the same. That little candle high right there will be the
Right.
same in all time frames.
But I get what he's saying though, because I mean, it makes sense, but for a lot of other people, it's not really clicking right. I'm not saying that it's not. Who is that talking?
Marcus, because yeah, I would have put mine right there too. I wouldn't have put it because like putting it up where the pink line is, it seemed like that'd be too high. But because we didn't switch down to the 15, you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't go all the way up to there because that's like really.
I would never.
High
I would never go this high ever.
Right.
Well, it all depends what kind of trader you are. If you're like trying to swing trade, maybe you would. You got to give it more room. But like we're just day trading, trying to catch 30 pips. But here's the thing though. You want to put your stop loss depending on where you're putting. Where are you creating your analysis from? That's the whole game changer right there. Like if you just doing all of your analysis on a 15-minute chart, then that's where you're gonna put your stop loss at. But I'm trying to train the team to do analysis on higher time frames. So since we're doing it that way, then I'm telling you, you got to put it on a 1 hour. But you know, like at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want to do. If you just want to stick to the 15-minute and you just bouncing from 5 and 15 or whatever, then that's where you want to put your stop loss at, because that's as far as you looked. You know, but you got to understand, if you choose to do it that way, then you choose to get faked out a lot because you're not looking at the bird's eye view of the market. So, because you didn't do top-down analysis, you didn't start with the daily. You don't know if you're an extension or a retracement. All you see is the up and down movements on a 15-minute. So that's all you basically limiting yourself. So you got to go for quick pips because you never know where you're at in the market. But if you can go with, basically my style of trading is between a scalper and a day trader. Because a scalper trying to catch 10, 5, 10, 12 pips. But then you got a day trader looking to catch 40, 60 pips. I'm in between both. So you gotta give yourself enough room, and we're trying to go for 15 to 30 pips, and with GBP you can easily catch 60. You can easily catch 40. It all depends on the day. But I say put that stop loss above the high, because we're doing analysis from the 4 hour. We're finding head and shoulders patterns on the 4 hour chart. So we're doing analysis. We're finding wedges on the 1 hour chart. We're finding double bottoms on the 1 hour chart. So you got to put that stop loss above the previous low or high. And then the next thing we do, Tyler, is well, we don't just take it because we know where the stop loss is. We got to figure out, well, how many pips is from the entry to the stop loss? And then what is that risk? And then we got to say, well, where's the take profit at? So if you're thinking about take profit, Robert, where the take profit going to be at?
I got to look at that. Was that a 20 coming up? That's going to stall the downward movement, that magenta right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 20.
Yeah, but once it gets past that, I'm going all the way down to the bottom of the green candle, just before it hits that support. About there approximately. Or if I hit my goal, that's the long one, if it keeps going, I'll stay in it. But if I've already made my goal, 15, 20 pips, then I'm good to get out, whatever.
All right, so somewhere up in here?
Somewhere in there.
All right, so looking at that, from the yellow line to the red and from the yellow line to the green, the risk to reward is good. And you can't just make your own risk to reward up. It has to be market structure. Right. So, okay, so this makes sense. If we're dropping, okay, and it's been a downtrend already. Okay, so let's go with that. Now you want to look, Tyler, at the entry versus the stop loss. You see how I grabbed that ruler over there and I went from the entry and I pulled it back. That's 72 pips. Okay. What is the entry to the take profit? 75 pips. It looked like 756, but it's gold. So move the decimal to the left and you got 75.6. All right. So now, Tyler, you want to say, okay, from the entry to the stop loss, that's 74 pips. Now you figure out, well, what is 3% of my account? And they help you figure out the lot size. And I gave you the cheat sheet, the formula for that in the group. All right. So if you take out $1 lot size, you're risking $73. Are you okay with that? If you say, no, that's a little too much, then you go down to 50 cents. You say, no, I still don't want to lose that much. We'll go down to 30 cents. But in the beginning, just know that the lower your lot size go, you're keeping your risk right in check, but you're also not going to be taking big profits home either. Unless you get more advanced later on and you start taking out more positions as the market, lets you, as it makes sense to. But in the beginning, I don't recommend you, oh, it's dropping. Oh, we're down here now. Let me take out another trade. Don't do that stuff. Don't do stuff like that as a beginner. Just take the one position and let it do, and you learn from it. All right, so that's that. All right, so we in the trade though, so let's let it play out. All right, here's the thing. Okay, so right here is where people start freaking out. Oh man, this thing is, oh, this is a loser. Oh man, I'm like, we didn't hit the stop loss yet. There's nothing to talk about.
Right.
There's nothing to talk about. You know, it could very well hit the stop loss.
Right.
Well, every trade we take, we gotta be willing to lose. You shouldn't have traded. You shouldn't have took the lot size out that you wasn't willing to lose. Just because Robert might call out a trade, which he's been winning. Just because I call out a trade and I've been winning, don't mean that a loser is not gonna happen. So this Monday morning, I ain't really trading Monday because the market's. I'm waiting, watching for moves to form and everything. But Robert called out a trade on Monday. Just because he been winning, don't try to up your lot size. Let me tell you one of the ways that people are losing when they take signals, because that's basically what you're doing. But we just can communicate with the signaler. Most of the time, you can't communicate with that person. You just take the signals. So, what's happening is that when you take signals, though, you have to be consistent with the same lot size because there's going to be losses. You have to take the same lot size every single trade if you want to see it right. Because the time that you up it, because you lost 2, and then you want to up the trade to try to make those 2 back, and then you lose the 3rd one. Now you lose even more money. You come out better when you take the same lot size every single time. And then throughout the wins and the losses, as long as you have a good person that's calling out signals, you'll come out as a winner because you took the same lot size and you didn't skip trades either. You got to take all of them. But here's the thing. We're going to go beyond that as a team. I'm trying to train you guys to see somebody call out a signal. You should know if it's going to be a good one or not. You should say, and I think that's what Grace has been doing. I see where he's talking about, but you know what? For me, and what I've been taking from Jay or what I've been taking for whoever, IML or whatever, it ain't really fitting what I like. So maybe you would have waited. So I took the sell on gold, won, but Christian waited for the pullback. That was yesterday, I think, and he got in at a higher point because he saw something different than what I saw, and he just waited for the pullback, and he got in higher than me, so he was in profit faster. That's the way we should be doing this. All right. So anyways, let's play it out. My computer going slow.
It was also, Jay, a good opportunity if you were entering into a half position to add another half position at that retracement.
Yeah. So it broke. We took the sell here and then it pulled back on us. Robert is saying, well, right here, well, if you took the full position, you have no more no more positions to take. Exactly. But if you took, like Robert said, I took a half position yesterday. I forgot what trade it was. So a half position means you really want to take $1, but you're not sure. You're like, I ain't really comfortable with this one, but it looks good, but I don't think it's ready. You form those little inklings. Well, then you take out a 50-cent lot size here, and sure enough, it pulled back because you was feeling it. You knew something, so it pulled back on you, and now you took out another 50 cent up here and then caught that on back down. And you pretty much broke even on that first one and made money on that second one. But if you took out the $1 right at the entry point, you're done. You just got to wait for it to come back. Now, I see some people, we was on the entry right here and you saw a little doji pulling back right here, maybe like 15 pips, and we panicking. I can understand this pullback making you panic for some people. And I still say it ain't hit the stop loss. I'm still sipping my coffee. It's nothing to talk about. But I can understand new people getting panicked on this pullback. But to see one little candle pull back and we're in a sell is nothing to panic over. And the reason why I say that is because in this big downtrend right here, there were full green candles popping off. All through here, there were green candles. It's never just going to be like this candle dropped right here, but it did have a green candle pulling back. There's nothing to freak out about. You just have to focus on the process. Okay, nothing closed above my moving averages. Nothing closed above. If you took this sell right here and it started pulling back with that little wick right there, which was green, nothing closed above the 8. Nothing closed above the 20. It's not. Stick with the process. Patience. Let it run. Let it do its course. You got the stop loss there, just in case it loses. You're fine. Let it do what it do. All right. So I'm just trying to ease your mind when we get into these trades. So Robert, so right now we can stay in the trade or get out the trade, and you already saw the candle. So of course you're gonna say stay in the trade.
Well, by then probably hit my goal already. But I did want to point out to Jessica how the MACD just now flipped, or not just now, but it flipped from green at top to now red at the bottom, and the blue line is coming down. So that also is an indication that we're doing good.
Yep. Perfect. And this is, and you know what, that's a good thing, Jessica, you point out these little things, because as somebody that's used to it and been doing it, I always have to remember, you know, people that's coming in don't know every little nuance about these things. So yeah, so that's a good question. It's starting to get weak, and you can see it start turning to red. Here, hey Tyler, just so you know, when these signal lines, the blue and the orange on this MACD, let me blow it up. When the lines are at the top, we're in a buy. When the lines are at the bottom, we're looking for sales. Okay, that's the rule of thumb. Now, if you only focus on this, you will lose. I promise you. You will be confused, you will lose. But if you know how to trade, if you learn how to trade, if you learn how to look at the basics, support and resistance, finding those zones, market structure, understanding your highs and lows. If you look at that first and then you tie in this MACD, now you can use that to your advantage. And that's how we do it. But I just want you to know the rule of thumb here. Yes, it crossed over. So yeah, you're going to see some buys here. But it's underneath the histogram, way underneath the histogram. Maybe you caught the buy to reverse here, but really you just sit out this and you wait for another sell to happen. You wait for another entry point to sell again, because we're underneath the histogram. When it pushes through the histogram, this is where I like to make my money at, because I'm only looking for 15, 20 pips. I like to see it as it's pushing right through it. Not after it's already through it, but as it's pushing into it, I know that there's momentum temporarily right now, and I'm going to catch my 15, 20 pips. So this is where I like to catch it at. The stochastic doesn't look pretty. It looked like it's probably oversold, overbought, but I'm going with this momentum, and I'm going to catch what I need to catch, and I'm out. Just like this. As it's opening up, the lines are opening up, and it's pushing through the histogram, meaning a trend change, because it was going up, and then now you see a trend change pushing through. I'm catching my little pips right there. And I've made a good living catching 15, 20 pips a day. That's it. So that's the rule of thumb. So let me get out of this. So now you understand what we're looking at the MACD. Let's see. Who all do we have on here?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Just because I'm not as familiar with the stochastic. What's the difference between the red line and the blue one?
It's the orange line.
Yeah, my bad.
And it's the signal line. So when they cross, I mean, it's just simple. They just call signal lines. And so it's just telling you, it's just another way of showing you momentum. When you see the blue cross below the orange, downtrend. Now, how much? I don't know that. Nobody knows how much is going to go down. But I can tell you that just by looking at this, it was going up, 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 and now it's starting to go down. Plus, you got these red bars. The bigger these bars get, the more it's going to drop. We don't use these to help us find trades, though. Just because it crossed, let's sell. No. But if you're already in the sell or looking at the sell, If you're already in the sale, it can help you stay in the sale and not get out so early. That's how we use it. If you already was looking at a sale and then you see this happen, it just confirmed. That's one of your confirmations. Take the sale. So that's how we do it. But did that answer your question though? They're just signal lines. They're just signaling you to sell.
Yeah, the blue, if I remember correctly, the red is the signal line and the blue is called the MACD. So when the blue crosses over the red, it's going down, or if it crosses as it's going up, it's an uptrend. Yeah.
There you go. Right there on the screen. You can screenshot that, whatever you got to do.
There you go. Yeah, it says it right there. Yeah.
So MACD, the blue, signal is the orange, and the settings are 12, 26, and 9.
Okay.
Now, from here, I'm showing you, but at the end of the day, you got to go back test and get an understanding for yourself. Get your own breakthroughs. You got to get your own breakthroughs. And then when you stumble, then you ask me a question. Instead of me asking you a question, you ask me a question, and then it clicks. When you're able to stumble and then ask me a question, yeah, you will have it then. All right, so you see how we got that 8 crossing below that 20. The 20 is magenta, and the 8 is the turquoise. It's crossing underneath it. So that's what Robert was saying. He liked the crossover. So when he saw that, he probably was like, I'm in here. Let's go.
More confirmation, yeah.
Yeah. So we taking profit, or we holding it, or what?
I'm holding at this point because I'm already probably well into profit.
So you holding it? Okay. Now, did we move any stop loss into profit yet? Did we just keep it there and monitor it?
About 15, 20 pips. So you can move your stop loss into profit or at the entry point, and that way you are at a no risk trade.
So this is 48 pips.
Yeah.
So we're moving that. Where are we moving it? Down here? Where are we moving it?
Right now, just below. Yeah, just right there because it could come back a little bit.
All right. So cover the spread and the fee, basically, right?
Exactly.
All right. Just so you guys know, if Robert call out this trade and I take it, I'm already been out this trade. That's just me. I'm already out. As soon as I made my goal, I'm done. I need to make my goal as quick as possible, and I need to get out this market as quick as possible so I can make more videos, so I can do other things in my day. Because for something that I don't like about myself yet is that when I have a trade running, it's hard for me to focus on other things in my life. I'm constantly thinking about the trade. I already broke even, but then I'm like, man, I'm deep in profit. I can just lose all of this. I haven't conquered that yet. So for me, I just like to sit at my computer between 1 and 5 a.m., see what I can catch. If there's no trade, I'm perfectly fine with that. Mm-hmm. But if I make my money, I'm done. I don't care if it's going to drop for another 100 pips. I can really care less because I know the way I am as a person. So that's just me. Robert moved the stop loss up. If it comes back and stop him out, he said he's fine with that. Then it is what it is. So you just have to learn what kind of person you are.
Yeah, one thing that I am watching though, Jay, as this is happening, is I'm looking left to see if it's breaking other levels of support. And in this case, it did. If you see that little bunch just on the left of the trend line below.
So let's, we got to pay attention to that and mark that up. Can't let that slip by us like that. So where did it break? Right here?
Right there, right.
He's looking at this right here, right?
I was watching to see if it was going to bounce off of that, and then I would have closed it. But since it broke through, I'm still in.
All right. So right here, he went on ahead and marked that up. So now, Jessica, we got a minor resistance level because this is really tight. And we got a little minor level. All right. So we got a little wick out. It came back up. And it's to be expected after a big drop-off. Remember, I said there's going to be green candles in a drop-off. This was beautiful. Nothing but green. Oh, man. No reds there. All right. So what are we doing? Did you take profit anywhere or what? Or
yeah,
did you?
I would have, once it broke the 8, I would have taken profit.
It broke the 8 right here.
If I was still in it, once it started going there, sometimes what I do, Jay, at this point, I go down to the 5 minute just to see the action of what's happening, just to get a clearer vision of what's happening right this very moment instead of waiting for the 15-minute candle. And if I already see that there's a doji candle or something and there's a couple greens going up, I got my profit. I'm out, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So just so you know, when you saw these big green candles coming up, there were levels being broken on that 5 minute constantly. It was higher highs, higher lows going up on that 5 minute chart.
Right.
And so it probably was above the 50 moving average on the 5 minute chart. He like, oh, this thing about to go for another 30 pips probably.
So technically speaking, once it went over the magenta line that you drew right there in the middle, I would have been out. Yeah. And I would have already made my profit weight, you know?
Yeah. All right. And I probably would have been out somewhere up on this, in this candle here. All right. So just, you see, we all took the same trade and we all closed it at our own levels of our comfortability. All right. So that's it. So we already took profit on that. We're done with this trade. Who we got? Anybody else want to participate, helping us find the next trade? You don't have to. We don't care if you win or not, but this is going to help you because as you go. So now what I want to do is let this go ahead and
Oh, and by the way, yeah, the Martin is already showing us the strength going back up. So
yeah, it curled back up. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take this next one, but I'm gonna ask for help because we already at 8. So I'm gonna walk us through this next trade, what I'm personally looking at, and then I'll probably ask a couple people something.
Dang, time goes by like super fast.
Man, you having fun for real. Like, this don't even feel like no work to me. Like, I'm just gonna be doing this anyway. I'm just doing it with people now. It's like I got a company. Now, where's the candles at? Oh, it's loading. Oh, there they are. They all the way up there.
And it may take a minute, Jay, for people to get this, but man, what we just went through is it right there. If people really got this, they would be so fired up because they'll be making money every day.
Man, like it's that simple. Like, but I mean, people don't have the help that y'all got or that we got, because I got help too. You know what I'm saying? But like, they out there on an island, they out there just guessing. Like, we all at the end of the day, it's all gonna be a guess. But like, our guesses are very high probabilities. Right. You know, because we actually know what we're doing, and so we just leading. All right, so now we're starting over. No indicators. You're not allowed anything. If you cannot find a trade by looking at this, then you have no business even looking at any lines. Because we find trades from market structure, not from indicators. So, all right, so what I'm gonna do is back to the basics again. Marking my zones up. Don't get bored with the process. Don't get bored with what works. All right. Don't say, oh man, I'm tired of putting my lines up. I'm gonna try something else, and that's when you're gonna lose. Stick to what you know and what's working.
Can I ask a question?
Let me go back. Go ahead.
So I think I'm trying to understand the way you're doing your support and resistance. Are you doing it on the most recent activity to the right?
So I'm looking at where price is, and then I'm looking at all the different resistance where price kept hitting up. It bumped my head. I can't break through the ceiling. It drops. I can't break through the ceiling. It drops. Okay, we got some little fake out action up here. I can't, little shoulder, head right here. Oh, but it drops. Same old, I got a big wick. I'm looking at wicks in different things. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, this is a perfect zone. I see a lot of stuff. Then I'm going down here, right? Because price was up here. You got to go down here because you got to have your resistance and your support level, right? So now I'm like, okay, can I spot any wicks? Where's some wicks at? Because those are high reversal zones. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I see some wicks up in here, and here's the thing. When I first started, I didn't draw lines like this. My eyes are trained differently now. But I used to be like this. You see what I'm saying? I used to be like this. Now that's my zone. So maybe you need to start there. And maybe that'll help you because support and resistance is not just a line. It's a zone. You're never going to get it perfect. You have to get the zones. So from like the wicks to the bodies, you know, so that's the zone. But now, you know, I just don't like all those lines on my chart. And plus I already know what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at the zone. Now price can shoot above this and I still can see the zone. Like how I just drew up, even though it's not there. So do what works for you. So I'm like, okay, let's start here. Go ahead.
And that helps me like see it better because the zones as far as the lines, because when you draw out the lines, your mind frame is to see what's in, you know, those support and resistance lines. But then you have areas where it broke out of that. And if you just draw up your lines and you just looking, basically, you looking for your point for it to break, and you only got those support and resistance lines, you're not taking account of, you know, these past wicks. It could look like it's retesting, but it's really just like staying in that same zone.
Yeah, I got you.
That's true. That's how that gold trade looked. From Gold Cup, like the breakout and retest, it looked like it was kind of, if it was a zone there, it wouldn't really broke out of the zone. It broke the line, but not really the zone if it was bigger.
Yeah. Right, Marcus. Yep, absolutely. All right, so where we at? So we're gonna go ahead and run through this trade, and then we had enough by then. So let me see. Let me bring everybody up so I can ask names here. All right, come on, Seth. Let's go. I need you, man. Can I count on you? You ready? You in the building, Seth?
I did.
Let's go. I gotta challenge you, man. You've been missing.
yeah, because I've been quite busy, you know, with some stuff. And yeah. I always come late, you know. Like what happened yesterday, I was actually following, except that I joined you guys late because of the time difference.
Yeah.
But I think where my issue is, you've quite addressed it. It was about the pips. I remember yesterday I entered into the GBP yen trade before I realized my stop loss has already logged me out of the market. And then I got some losses. So when you started like that, I really appreciated it, and I'm following. So choosing my stop loss and my take profit is where my issue is. So if you can go over that again, I'll be grateful. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go over everything in each trade. So we already went over that with Robert's trade. When I'm actually ready to enter into this trade, I go over that.
Okay, then that's fine.
All right. So right here, I'm like, okay, I'll call out a trade setup. For me, it's nothing to do here. There's absolutely nothing to do here. I need to see some level get broken, something, right? I'm gonna put that there.
Right.
Okay. I want to see maybe I can get some action as it bottles up into this triangle. You see, price come. Maybe it might play around, break up to the top, and it will help me see where I'm at in the market. It helped me gauge the momentum, or it's gonna break through this. You see this little triangle here? Yeah. So we might get some action there. So I'm just gonna put that there. All right. My MACD is at the top. Okay, so we might be looking for buys. Now I don't have which way we looking, which way we going. I don't know which way we going. The market is going to tell me which way we're going. I don't have my heart set on a buy or a sell. I'm just trying to react to what the market is doing the best I can, you know. I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, but let's just do the best we can. So what we learned. All right, so I see some wicks. Now I'm looking at these wicks and I'm like, okay, we got a nice rejection. Now here's where people get confused at. Because they say, some people say more touches mean the weaker the zones get and we're going to break out. Or they says it keep rejecting it, so it's going to drop. So which one is it? You see what I'm saying? So only thing I can say about that is just back test that and see what the numbers are. If there's a lot of touches at a zone, try to find this scenario 100 times. And write down, okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I got like 5 touches at a zone. Write down what it did. Okay, and then you just have to back test it and get your numbers, and that's how you can see how you're gonna trade it in the future. Does that make sense, Seth?
Yes, sir.
All right. So for me, it just dropped like that. Okay. So right here, what I see is we got this little trend line break, this big momentum down. I didn't catch that. I mean, I don't know if I caught it, but I'm gonna say I didn't because it just happened so fast. So I'm gonna wait for a retest. If you see a big move like that, I'm not gonna sell right here. Markel, did I say your name right? Let me see. Markel, yeah. Markel, I'm not selling right there.
Yes, sir.
I'm not selling. Would you sell right there?
The way I've been trading, I probably would. Why would you wait for a retest?
Because when you see a big drop like that, the train has already left the building. It already left the building. So people right here, they trade for fear of missing out. So I'm not saying that you won't win. I'm not saying that you won't win. I'm just saying I'm trying to help us to see how can we be safe?
Exactly.
How can we trade safely? Because you can take the gamble right here and you might win. But are you building good habits? Because we're trying to stay in the game long term, not just make a quick buck. So I will say that I would need a confirmation. So I will see, okay, I will let it retest. Now, here's the problem. Nobody wants to wait for that. Nobody wants to wait for this to retest, prove that it makes a high, lower high, and then we take it. See here, okay, here's another thing, Markel. This is what I think we're missing. And Seth, this is going to answer your question.
All right.
Now, this is not where I would enter, but I will show you where I would. But let's just put an entry point right here. Let me show you what happens when you enter right there, Markel.
What if it broke the support under it? It went down on the next candle and began going under the support.
Yeah, it might do that, but let me show you. Let me show you something, and then we're gonna see what it does real quick.
And then another thing you got to think about is just as quickly as it went down, it can shoot straight up. We saw that yesterday when the news broke out.
Well, look, just as quick as it went straight up, it just shot right back down with 2 candles. So all this is consolidation here. And all right, here's number one. Number one, Markel, I don't trade middles. I'm not going to trade the middle of this consolidation. If I was going to sell, I should have just went on ahead and pulled the trigger at the top. If I was going to buy, I would have waited for one of these doji candles and just pulled the trigger at the bottom. But we're in the middle here. This can go either way. All right, that's one thing. The second thing is this. What is your risk to reward like? Is your stop loss is out of control now? Like, is your stop loss has become bigger because you entering way down here now? See, we got to think about that. The red line is our stop loss. I'm almost done. The red line is our stop loss. You know, somewhere up here. Well, if you waited for a pullback, instead of it being, let's see here, instead of it being a whole 30, 33 pips, we could possibly, I don't know what it's going to do, but we could possibly wait for a pullback to up in here, and our risk could only be 13 pips. You can enter here. Let me tell you all the scenarios. You can enter here. As soon as you enter, this is where people think that the market and your broker's playing you. Because as soon as you enter, it pulls back on you. But look where you enter. That's why it pulled back on you. Is where you enter. It ain't the broker's fault. It's your fault. You know, I'm just using an example. You get how I'm talking. So, you know what I'm saying? So if you can't be mad if it pulls back. Don't blame it on nobody but you. And then if it pulls back on you, you have to say, oh, my stop loss is 33 pips away, and I'm just going to let it do what it do. It stop me out, it stop me out. If it stop me out way up here, I'm going to take the buy. Possibly, if it breaks through and retests. At least you would know that. But if you get in this middle, you like 50-50 here. You're in a high-risk trade. I'm not saying you won't win, so let's get on with the show. So are we entering here though?
No.
No, now we not. Okay. No. So we waiting. What we waiting for, Markel?
Waiting to see if it's gonna pull back towards that trend line.
Okay. Got you. All right. So nothing to do here. What we doing? So now for you, okay. So if you like before we talked and you would have took that trade right down here, you would have got some profits. But if you trying to stay in and get greedy, you would have got hit. You would have got hit. You would have been like you still in profit even right now, and you probably would have closed it. But you see it wicking out. So I'm waiting for a pullback. Me personally. So is this the pullback we wanted? Or no, we want some more?
I would have waited till it get the smart thing is to wait to see if it's going to go further up towards the trend line.
Okay, now this is when I'm looking at my indicators and I see my stochastic. I'm on an hour chart. I'm not on a 15-minute chart. I'm on an hour chart, and I'm looking. It's more stronger on the hour chart. So I'm saying, okay, I see the MACD possibly might be pushing through, but I see my trend line on, or my trend color is green. We're in an uptrend because we're making these highs up in here. And you saw that red little slither. That's because it broke that trend line. But what are we ultimately? Ultimately, we in consolidation. So we gotta still, we can't like be so zoned in that we're looking at this that we miss that ultimately we're in consolidation. So let's zoom out, and where did we come from before consolidation happened? Right? So let's think about that. We came from an uptrend, so it was an uptrend before the consolidation happened. That's part of the story. So now maybe we're building momentum to continue up. And I'm saying maybe, right? Because I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna enter, but we have to wake up every day and try to find a piece to this puzzle. That's, if you don't like doing that, then you won't last long as a trader. But you got to find a piece to the puzzle. All right, let's get on. Now this is when now I'm pretty much gauging what I want to do and pulling on my indicators now. So let me see. Martin Trend Trader. Let these load up here. All right. I see on my trend trader, you see greens and it broke that little white line. It's really clear, but it broke my my white line and it's red. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking at, I'm think I'm gonna take this sale here. We'll see. So let me take off of these entry lines because I'm not really ready to enter yet. And I'm looking at this MACD. So if it breaks through this MACD, I want to enter in on that momentum. All right, so I'm seeing that it's coming up, and I'm looking. I see this big doji candle, or this kind of like an indecision candle, and then these red candles are green because the wicks are green. So I'm looking at that. All right, don't forget that we just closed above this zone in the middle. We just closed above that zone, wicked out hard, and closed above the zone. But we're losing momentum as it's going up. What time of the day is it? Just like 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Look at that, 9, 10. So let me see. Tim, Nick, and Brandon. When you back test it, make sure you're looking at what time it is in the market. All right, so right here, 8 o'clock, 9 a.m., 10, 11, 12, 1 p.m. Okay. All right. So this is where I'm gonna sell at. This is for the reason. Now let me tell you why. It's because we came back up, retested on that line or the trend line to retest it, high, lower high, close back above that zone. I see I'm pushing through that the MACD, and this is probably about to curl down again. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the chances on that and put an entry on there. Stop loss. Steph, you see the stop loss?
Yeah, but you see, sometimes when you go to enter, when you go to entry, right, and then that box opens where you have to actually use the arrow on top to change it, right? How to count the pips? You see, the JPY is actually to the small places, right? So it's not like the other ones. So I think that's where I missed. You are able to move it like that in determining your stop losses and take profit. But I normally key in. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're having problems with counting pips. That's in IML Academy. You got to go to IML Academy and count pips because JPY, she told you, Daisy Duncan told you that the yen, you have to move the decimal over.
Yeah, I remember.
So that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do is move the decimal place over. Mm-hmm. I think it's to the right. This is gold. See, this is 441. You think you caught 441 pips? No, you didn't. You caught 44 pips.
44, yeah.
Or you lost 44 pips.
Yeah. I got you.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go.
That's fine.
All right, price is playing around with us, still consolidating. Yep, pretty much. So I'm looking at my entry. Where is my 15 pips at? So I can get up out of here. 15 pips is about right here. Somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
Let me see where this candle format. So I'm seeing this stochastic curling up, but we're not moving up yet. Now what I'm also gauging is that this Martin trend trader is getting close to these candles. So I don't know about this one. But we still in because it ain't stop us out. So all right. And take profit. So we up in there. So one of the reasons I think that some people in the group would have probably closed the trade out because it was messing with us for a while. Maybe it was pulling back a little too much for your liking, and you probably closed the trade out. I think Markel, right up in here is where you closed the trade out last time in gold because it was pulling back, but it didn't stop us out, so we just hold the trade. We took risk management. We took the risk management trade, so we shouldn't be crying it too hard if we lose. And then just because we see little pullbacks, let me take off the trend trader. Just because we see the pullbacks doesn't mean that we're losing. if it didn't hit the stop loss, we're not losing. We just might be in a little drawdown. But ultimately, to look back and say, okay, how did we win this trade? Well, we got our resistance, Tyler, up here. It wicked out hard, and it's one of those cases where you say, okay, a lot of touches meant that it couldn't break through, and the drop off was coming. Well, you would write that down if you were studying that. But it broke the trend line, and I'm gonna go back and see how did I win it so I can consistently keep doing this. So it broke the trend line. Markel, see, if you sold right here, right where you saw it was dropping off at, and then it pulled back on you, you had to wait it out. You would have been in all this drawdown, and eventually you would have got money. You would have got paid, Markel. So just because you enter in too early doesn't mean you're not gonna win. Because I've been in drawdown where I was in drawdown 50 pips, but I knew it was coming back. Well, I really had a strong feeling that it was coming back. I don't know anything, but according to the market, how the market was moving, I knew eventually I held the trade for a day and a half just to get back to break even, and I got back to break even and I closed it. But like if Markel, like if in the future we call out a trade or something and you enter into a little too early because you just felt like you needed to, just start focusing on the process. Don't focus on that your account is negative. Focus on that, okay, it pulled back, but it still made a lower high. You know, maybe it's pulling back to a trend line. Start thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? Start thinking like that, because that can help you gauge whether you should close it out or just wait for it to come back down to you. But if you just say, oh, I'm negative, I'm losing, then you probably gonna close it.
I think I experienced that on Monday. At a point in time, I was in negative, so I was like, God, should I get out? Should I get out? But I said no. You know, I chose 0.01. That was manageable. Yeah, so I had to stay in, and eventually I made a positive, and then I just left the market. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, also I'm looking at Tyler. I'm looking at like, okay, we came back to the trend line, and we just kind of sat there. Okay, is really nothing to do besides just let it do what it do. You just gotta kind of hang in there because you got your stop loss there. Don't move the stop loss, just keep it there. But what was the deciding factor when it broke through that MACD? You know, when I first entered in, I think I entered in like somewhere, I forgot where I entered in at. Somewhere up in here maybe, and they kind of just kept playing around with me. But the fact that it was breaking through the histogram, that means a trend change. Remember that. When it breaks through the histogram, trend change. So it breaks through the histogram, trend change. So I was really looking at that and was like, okay, I'm a hold on to it. And that's what kept me in the game. And then remember how I said when we was like right up in here, how I said that it's because the Martin stochastic started to go up, right? And as it was going up, the market wasn't going up. So that's a story that you got to read. Like the stochastic is going up, but I don't see any movement going up. And so that kept me in the game to hold the trade. And then finally we just got what we wanted, and that was the sell. And you know, I take profit, or if I see the dollar going up, the gold is going down. If that dollar is like at an 8 or a 9, that's when you see me hold the trades longer. If the dollar is halfway in the middle, playing around, if you want to get weak or strong, that's when I take my 15 pips and I'm gone. So that's how I gauge that on a currency heat wave. So that's that.
Hey Jay, let me ask you. You said that we should all think about 2 currencies that we should work on and mark up and just focus on for maybe 6 months. Would you be for or against USDJPY and gold, since they're inverse, as two currencies just to work with outside of what comes in the group?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Because I understand your theory on that. You can do that. USDJPY. You just got to understand how that's going to correlate when you take the gold trade. You know, get an understanding of that. And do you already have an understanding of that?
I know that they're inverse, so they're always should be going in. They should be trending opposite.
Right. But then you got to factor in that JPY, so don't forget about that. You know, so that's when you start looking at that heat wave and say JPY is weak, USD is strong. That's going up, and then if the USD is really going up, then you got gold going down. Right. Yeah. So you can focus on that. Yeah. USD JPY, trade that during its times though. That's not a London pair. So, you know what I'm saying? So don't even think about that during 1 a.m., you know, or 3 a.m. in the morning. It's still going to move, but it's not optimal. Because we want to get our trades in, get our pips in, and we're out. Oh, I forgot to take the chicken out. You want to sorry guys. You want to get your money and get out as quick as possible. So if you trading USD JPY during London, you might be a while. So I wouldn't trade that. I would keep that around the New York session or the Tokyo session.
And just trade the GBP or the euro in the London session. Right.
Absolutely. And there you go. And then you should just focus on that for 6 months to a year. You should be coming out as a winner. There's no reason why you shouldn't be coming out as a winner at the end of the month, at the end of the week. Because you're just focusing on one thing, and then I'm giving you the edge on whatever trade I'm calling out, whatever setup I'm calling out, and all you got to do is just kind of like see if that fits with your strategy, what we've been teaching, and whatever else you add to it. That should be easy. That should just be take a quick glance up. That right there didn't flip, or that right there I'm waiting on that to break, and you should be done with my trade setup. And then if gold cup comes out, then you just take that one. That's it. Three pairs. What I give you, what gold cup call if you got that, and or bounce back, and your own. And if you're not winning, then you take your own USD JPY on demo, not live. The system is here for you, for everybody to win on here. And it's just up to you to follow the system. And if you deviate from the system, then the results will vary. So that's pretty much it though. Any more other questions?
Just a comment. As a rule of thumb, this is what I learned from stocks is that multiple touches on lower time frames means it's going to break through, and on larger time frames it means it's going to hold.
Oh, I love that. Robert just gave us the cheat code. So
in this case, you would have anticipated that it was coming down, but on the lower time frames, if it's tapping and tapping and tapping, it's going to break through probably. So that's
what's considered
at the end of the day, wait to see price action. But Robert, I like that. Hey, Markel, what?
What is considered the lower time frames? Under an hour?
15 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute to be borderline.
Yeah. 5 minute, 15 minute, yeah. There's a lot of traders, man, that's still trading on that 5 minute. A lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it on the action because, like last night, we were looking at GOD, and I could see that the 8 EMA we just kept holding and holding and holding. It just wouldn't break. It's like even when I was slowing down, it was still going, you know. So I knew.
I had a quick question. So like how you were saying that you was in a trade and you was holding on to it because you had a feeling that it was about to break or like go. I guess it was consolidating, and you knew that it was going to go in your favor. Like what were you looking at to see that it was going to go back up?
You talking about me?
Yeah, you said that you were in a negative a certain amount of money, but you knew that it was going to reverse because you had a feeling that it was going to reverse. Like, what do you look at to know that it's gonna reverse?
Oh yeah, so I was looking at the levels, the resistance level. There was a resistance level up there, and it was making it didn't break it, and then it started making high, lower highs, and lower lows, and I started to see that on a 5-minute chart that it was starting to do that. Then it went through the 50, and then I went to the 15-minute. It just kept making higher lows and lower lows. Lower highs. Sorry, it kept making lower highs. So it'll pull back, but it never goes back above the other one, the other high. So it made a lower high and a lower high and a lower high. And I'm like, oh, this thing about to come back. So I can lease. And then I gauge. For me, at that time, sometimes I had to take the loss. There was no coming back. Because when I went to that 5-minute and that 15-minute, it just everything was above the 50 moving average. The 5-minute was above the 50 moving average. The 15 was above the 50. There was no coming back. I wasn't about to be negative 100 pips just to get back break even. I'm just gonna take this L and then be done with it. But I was able to see that. That was one trade, and the other trade was it just kept making lower highs and lower lows. And then finally, those lower highs and lower lows finally walked into the 15-minute. And then sometimes you're able to see that, you know what, I'm not going to get all of this back, but I can get a nice amount back and then take the L. But for me, it didn't get too far away from me, and it came back to break me even. I was able to close it. So I was looking at the lower highs and lower lows being made on the lower time frame, engaging where that 50 was, where price was above it or below it. At that time, I didn't have no MACD, none of that stuff. And the stochastic wasn't doing me any good at that time because I was in a drawdown. I was looking at absolutely market structure. That answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah. But at this point, we're not even having problems like that now, because I understand zones at a whole new level now. So because I got price traps, like kind of like where I want it. So if it break a zone, I'm looking for the buy anyway. Back then, I didn't know none of that stuff, but now it's like, hey, if it break a level, we going up. If it break down, we going down. It's like, that's how we got it now. And then the fact that I'm gauging momentum with the MACD and the Martin trend trader. When it break that, I can show you right now. I can't show you, but I can show you every time it break that Martin trend trader, I'm in for 15, 20 pips automatic. The only thing is that I done already back tested 100 times. Only thing is though, Robert, because you got it too, and only thing is it doesn't happen every day. It might happen 2 or 3 days from now. But when it does happen, I know I can count on that. That's another 15 pips I can call out. Right. But while I'm waiting for that Martin trend trader to get broke, we just got to rely on our structures. And that's what we've been trying to do. Felicia said she would have put in a buy stop and a sell stop on both ways. And whichever way it went, she would have won. That's gambling at its finest. She's gonna catch it one way or the other. Only thing is, you can do that sometimes. Most people do that with news. Okay, they set it certain amount of pips in whichever way. Only thing is, you would have lost both ways if you was in GBP odd. Is that what you're talking about? You was in GBP odd and did that because it went 100 pips both ways. You probably would have got triggered, stopped out, triggered down there, stopped out, both ways. Because them wicks was huge yesterday, and I'm glad we was out of that market. So Felicia, with that, I would be careful with that mentality because it's going to make you lazy and it's not going to help you really pinpoint what the market is doing because you kind of like have a safety net telling yourself I can catch it either way. You will run into problems with that. So I would challenge you to not keep going that route. But here's the thing. I can't tell you not to do that because if you might find a breakthrough with that. You know what I'm saying? You might find a breakthrough with that. So you never tell. That's why when people hating on me on YouTube and they telling me don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, man, just because you don't do it don't mean I can't do it. You know, so just because I don't personally like that, I'm not gonna tell you not to do it. You know, so so if you find a breakthrough with that, just back test it and prove that it's winning, and then show it to us if you want to. You know what I'm saying? And you could probably enhance the group. But I would say, me personally, I'm looking for the levels to get broken, and I'm going that way with risk management. All right, so I think that's it. I'm about to go have some sushi dinner with my wife and enjoy the night.
Thanks for your time, Jay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Robert. Shane, what's up, man? Seth, thank you. Markel, thank you for participating, and Marcus and Jessica. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that. You as well, bro. You as well. Grace. Grace raised her hand. Is that one last question, Grace, or no?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What was that nugget that Robert said earlier?
Robert said that on the lower time frame, 5 minute, if you get a lot of touches on resistance or support, it's going to most likely break through. But on a 1 hour, 4 hour daily, if you get multiple touches on resistance or support, it's most likely going to hold.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Grace said, I got to get that. Hey, that was powerful, Robert. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know,
it only cost me $5,000.
Yes, sir. That's how it be, man.
Hey,
all right, y'all.
Jay, where is Amina?
Oh, man, I don't know. I got to reach out to her.
Why she got tired?
No, you never know. She probably making moves out there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, just show her some love in the group.
Yeah, I reached out to her yesterday.
Perfect. See, I like that. See, I like that. And actually, she was on my mind yesterday too, but I didn't reach out to her. But she was on my mind. So she was on all our minds yesterday.
I asked because she came on my mind.
See? So we gotta show her some love. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and show her some love in the group.
Take care, buddy.
All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I told you I was going to come through. You know, when I drop these videos, I'm going to come with the fire. You feel me? I'm going to come with that fire. So, guys, if you enjoyed this content, you watched it to the end, you know, give your boy a thumbs up. It doesn't take nothing to give your boy a like, because it's going to push. We're trying to impact lives. My mission is to help you become a profitable trader so you can get your time freedom back and start empowering people that's around you. That's my mission. And if you down with that mission, then give your boy a like. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe so you won't be lacking out here in these Forex streets. So you can get all the news and the updates that's going on in the Forex market and the news, period. Alright, guys, so don't forget, this Saturday I'm uploading the behind the scenes footage of me recording and making and the thought process of Pips Pay My Bills. Alright, guys, hope you guys support it and enjoy it. And don't forget to like this video, comment, and subscribe. And let's make this money, baby. Peace.
Pips pay my bills. Pips pay my bills. Pips pay my bills. Pips pay my bills.